Alright, so I'm Zach Rizer. We're back for part 2 of pattern playing for new ideas. In the last video we talked about 6 different patterns, runs of 3s, 4s, and 5s, and then skips of 3rds, 4ths, and 5ths. In this video I want to go into just doing some playing and kind of showing you how I might kind of pull out some ideas from these patterns. So let's start with let's pick a pattern. Let's pick thirds. So we had that skip of thirds, and I'll keep using that A Dorian minor scale. So the skip of thirds sounds like that. Now, very rarely when you play anything in the real world context do you just play straight up what you play in a practice room. So while we're practicing, let's try to play more like what we would actually play on a gig. So I'm going to add some rhythm to this and see if by just adding rhythm to the pattern I get something that sounds a little bit alright. So I'll just make something up. Okay, just that right there already sounds more like a line. And if you're not used to playing thirds, that might be something you've never once played before in your entire life. And if you just take that little bit of this new idea, it might not be the perfect bass line yet, but if you tweak it a little bit, you might come up with something that you really enjoy. So now I'm going to break this down a little bit. I'm not going to try to just play a pattern. I'm going to take bits of the pattern I like and maybe put it in the context of something else. So let's get kind of a groove going. Real simple bass line. Now, that little fill at the end was just a pattern of thirds going down. I just put them in there. That little lick. I could extend that just to practice it. I could start from the top. Okay, that was a little bit over the top. That's alright. Maybe going up. So now I'm just kind of trying some fills out. What about runs of 3? I'm going to slow this down a little bit so I'm not playing such chopsy stuff. So that little fill at the end there, that was just a simple run of 3, just kind of breaking it apart. Right there. How about some 4s? Maybe I'll do a long fill of just 4s. Okay? So, just experimenting with some ideas. Hopefully, I'm hearing something I haven't heard before. And if I was going a little bit slower, if I heard something I really liked, I would stop and I'd kind of grab that little tiny bit and I would just play with it for an hour until I came up with something that I really liked out of that. But let's switch what we were doing before. I was just starting with thirds that time. Let's hear what happens if I play a bass line that's based around 5ths. I said in the last video, I really enjoy 5ths. I feel like they're a sound that bass players don't attack very often, and it's a very kind of sharp-edged sound. So let's try a bass line that's focusing on this vibe. And I'm not just gonna play the pattern. I'm just gonna use that shape of a 5th to kind of make a line. So let's try a different tempo, maybe a different feel. So So hopefully you can hear that 5th in there. Okay, so that's just that shape. And you can already hear it's a very unique sound, especially if you're not used to playing it. So that's on the bass playing side of things. I do the same thing when I'm practicing melodies or solos. But to demonstrate that a little bit better, let me put some chords down and a bass line, and then I'll try to do a little bit of soloing with some of this stuff in mind as well. So let's get the chords first. Simple chord progression. Let's put a simple bass line down. Alright, so we got a bed. Now if I'm going to take a solo, same idea. I'm going to pick skips of fours, not runs, but skips. So let's just play with that. Now already that's a pretty unique line, and all that was just skips of fours mixed. It's just a straight pattern, exactly what I've done when I was practicing. I just slowed it down and tried to make it a little bit more melodic. Let's keep playing with those fours. How about some fives in there? How about runs of threes? Still runs of threes. Runs of fours. Runs of fives. Sorry, runs of fives. Skips of fours. Fives. Thirds. Thirds again. Fours. Fives, or fifths, sorry. Thirds, runs of threes. So that was fours. Here's threes. Alright, so experiment around. See what happens if you just try to force your hands and your ears to feel and hear some new ideas. So good luck, have some fun, and I'll see you back here soon. Thanks.